And it'd be nice to get you. Oh, really?
Moore Street, am I correct?
You are in Wall Street, yeah?
Might have the history here with those doors.
No, I wouldn't do it with me. Don't do it with me. But first, everything's neat there. And honestly, you've got to clean every sort of, you've got to clean it. Bringing in all that negative shit. You know, whether it works or not, I'm not exactly I know that I just spent the night in Jenny's house, you know, the only night I went towards me now, and she comes to the old place. So I want to be, the rest of the energy. Anyway,
Very good. And they were coming up here, and under are all these tunnels. And they were trying to get to those tunnels and down those tunnels. And the Crown forces blocked them here. And couldn't get across to go down. If they got to those tunnels, they would all escape. And that's why this is so important. But we're going to go to the rotunda now and see those tunnels. They've been denying them for years that they're there. Those tunnels lead up to Vaughan Hotel, which is the back of the rotunda in Farnham Square. And that's what's so important. That's what we're trying to get back up to. And if they had escaped from those tunnels, you know, you'd have a whole different 1916, which is a shame. And you have to go back to 1912, when Sir Edward Carson founded the Ulster Volunteers, and it became in 1913 the UPF Army, when Guinness gave 100,000, Lord Rothschild gave 100,000, and Rupert Kipling gave 50,000 to buy the top-class German guns. And the Crown of England and the Crown Forces and the RIC closed their eyes to that. And as a consequence of that, the intelligence officers of the Irish Republican Brotherhood reported to the Supreme Council, and they founded the Irish Volunteers and the Irish Citizens Army as a defence force. And that was in 1913, and Sam Maguire was secretary of the Irish Republican Brotherhood, and my granduncle Tom, Lawrence Hotel, they joined the Circle and the Cell. And Sam was sent to the post office in London, because he was trained for the British Civil Service, the Church of Ireland. And all the intelligence, he got himself into that room where all the intelligence from all over the world came. And my granduncle was sent to Calcutta in India to collect the intelligence on the Crown forces. And every week Sam brought those reports to Vaughan Hotel. We only had an office for Mrs. Vaughan at the time. And but it's so important to understand it and what happened in 1960. If you don't understand that, and you don't understand that the Crown Forces got the Volunteers and Citizens Army and all those who crossed there, it's very hard to understand. You won't be told, I'm afraid, if the British. Anyway, we notice today is it's the 97th. It's our Independence Day. And it's when Dáil Éireann and the Sovereign Republic of Ireland and the Sovereign Dáil Éireann Court, you became sovereign citizens today. That's your sovereignty. And it's shocking to think not one politician or civil servant turned up at that ceremony. It's only about 200 yards from the Mansion House. And I was every year I ask why they don't come. Oh, we don't get any expenses for that. But those misfortunes that gave their lives for you. And that's our tricolour flag. and that's our proclamation, sovereign constitution, Easterly Shammer, and the sovereign seals at half. I'm all on that. But it's all on that website, billymaguire.com or Irish Republican Brotherhood. And it's your sovereignty, you're the sovereign. And you should. All we're asking is that those people who went out in 1916 to establish the sovereign government by the will of all the people in the 1918 32 county elections, that government, which is the sovereign government, would be honoured. And we have, I said, there's 5 governments in the state, a small state like ours. You have the British government in Northern Ireland, you have the Ulster in Stormont, you have the 6th county in Stormont, and you have the Free State Provisional Government here, imposed by King George on the 6th of December 1921, King George V imposed the British apartheid system for the 26 and 6 counties of Ireland as an Orange Free State and the Provisional Government. And you have the European government here. And those 4 governments do not recognise our sovereign government. And I think it's time people stood up and said, we're the sovereign, we want a sovereign government for our sovereign people and for our sovereign children. And that's what we want. There's no way to understand. Thanks very much.
We're going up to the rotunda now to see the tunnels where they intended to escape the leaders. That they come up here, we support James Republican Brotherhood, the restoration and the preservation of Moore Street, where Pearson and the Army Council made their last stand in 16. So, everyone, we support, you support the restoration and the heritage of Moore Street. Strong again.
I doubt it. That's Billy Maguire now. Trying to get from the GPO up through Moore Street there. They get tunnels through those buildings. There was a British barricade just up at the head of the street there with the machine guns. O'Mahony was shot. We lived in here that was covered into the laneway when he was shot again. And as he was dying, there's a crack there, and it looks like there's a pebble. But that was actually, he pulled a piece of paper from his pocket, because he knew he was dying from wounds, and with a pencil or
finger, he wrote in his own blood a letter to his wife saying more or less that he was dying, he'd been shot, but his love to her and the family and how proud he was of his comrades in the fight for freedom. And it was there in that area that the O'Reilly bled to death. But that letter there is actually written in his own blood. That is actually the letter. And it was written, his wife actually got it. Believe it or not, there's sometimes some gentlemen in every army in the world, and I think the British soldier who rescued it, the officer, got it to his wife afterwards. A beautiful love letter for a man dying for his country. And this is one area with Moore Street that has to be preserved. It's the heritage of our freedom. But I mean, we're going to continue up now to the Rotunda. If you try to, I'll try and read it if you can hear me. It says, in short, Darling Nancy, I was shot while leading a rush up Moore Street. I took refuge in this doorway. And while I was there, I heard the men pointing me out where I was, and I made a bolt for the lane where I am. I got one more bullet, I think. Tons of love to you, dearie, and to the boys, and I'm not too sure to Helen and Annie. It was a good fight anyway. Please deliver this to Nanny O'Reilly, 40 Herbert Park, Dublin. Goodbye, my darling. You won't get a more sentimental letter than that written in history in a combat zone in any part of the world. And that love lives on today. Don't forget it.
Now, what way are you going to the Rotunda?
We're going down this way. We can't go that way. Go ahead. We're done with it.
What's going on next there, Dennis?
Richard? I think there's some traffic thing out there.
Hi.
Quiet.
Let's speak because he's so unknown as doing work.